on his backdrop one day, 2-pack the next, and now he's
Ole,
got
ole, ole, ole.
now he's got like what's that Disney Coco? He's got the Coco. He's living Coco right now.
Tyler, are you still in Mexico?
I am. We are here in Punta Mita. We're headed out tomorrow. But my gosh, we have had an incredible time here with foresters and a bunch of Symmetry folks. So it's been a lot of fun.
I was talking to Brandon last night. I guess he was on a flight or just landed back home, and he dared say that that was the greatest Super Bowl party ever and could never be topped.
100%. Like perfect weather, perfect scene, perfect game. I didn't have a dog in the fight, so for those that were disappointed with the outcome, I'm sorry. But my gosh, and this resort is absolutely stunning. So yeah, Punta Mita has been great.
Awesome. Yeah, I bought my black and white jersey to celebrate the winners of the game. Refs for the W, baby. Refs for the W.
Looking forward to hearing from Tyler Harris. I know we got so many people that have been excited about the start of Social Q, and we can't wait to dive into that content. I promised B-Dubs I would do my very best to be efficient through the leaderboards today. And I know he likes to hold me accountable, guys. So we are going to get ready to jump right in. On the topic of Super Bowl, let me say congratulations to all of you Kansas City Chiefs. In particular, I know of Sarah Reineke and I know that Michelle Miller are two avid Kansas City Chief fans. So congratulations to your squads. To all of you Eagles fans, I certainly was pulling for you. I think your quarterback played his heart out, and I feel certain more than ever after watching those post-game interviews that the Eagles will be back for many years to come. They seem to have incredible internal leadership and the right mindset. And so they just got to figure out how to get a stop on third down. We'll be there.
Well, that's facts.
Facts. All right, B-Dubs, let's get into it. For the top 10 new riders in total APV, coming in number 3, Kyle Everett. Number 2, Crystal Golf. Number 1, Donna Kroback with $7,500. Congratulations and welcome to all of our new riders. Top 10 producers for the week. We've got number 3, Joanne Castellano. Number 2, Ashley Richard. And number 1, there he is, Knuckles, with $35,000 in production. Excellent week there, Daniel. Top 10 producers in the app count. We've got number 3, John Perez. Number 2, Knuckles again. And number 1, Ashley Richard, with 26 total applications for the week. For the top Medicare supplement producers, number 1, William Sampson. Well done. Top 5 disability income producers. Number 3, Lisa Burns. Number 2, David Berry. Number 1, Thomas Lotz with 5,366 in production. For our IUL producers, B-Dubs, IULs have been flying off the charts. We have shattered records in the previous 2 to 3 weeks. Shout out to Nate and Jeff Sigworth and Melissa Wellman and all of our advanced market specialists who are pouring in to this market. Guys, we are shattering record after record, and it's so awesome to see during this ideal time in the market to be producing in the IUL arena. Number 3, Barbara Sarti. Number 2, John Moon. And number 1, Keisha Boykins with $20,000 in APV. Top 5 annuity producers. Number 3, Scott Forehand, who, by the way, is also having a builders event coming up this weekend. Make sure you are reaching out and getting plugged into a absolutely fantastic training opportunity coming from Scott Forehand and Bruce Lingo and so many others that will be there to contribute. You can reach out to either one of those individuals and they would be happy to steer you into the right direction if you would like to attend live or if you would like to get registered so that you can stream it online. Highly encourage you to do so. Number 2, Audrey Bobinger, and number 1, William Sampson with $750,000 in annuity production. Top 5 debt-free life producers, Kirsten Martin. Number 2, Ruth Slingo, and number 1, Scott Simkin with almost $12,000 in APV. For our new riders, week to date, we've got a tie there. Sarah Reineke and Jamie Susi both with 5. Number 1, Dave Alvarado, also down in Mexico with 6. Top new riders in the directs category, we got Danny Young. Number 2, Chris Cook. And number 1 is Sean Shannon with 11. Well done, Sean. SNAs. This means new individuals that have written 6 apps in 6 weeks are well on their way to having a successful career here with Symmetry. For the top base shops putting out SNAs, we have Grant Lieber and Michael Forehand and 14 other agency owners tied for first. Well done. We've got 14 directs that had at least 1 SNA put out, and Mike and Sarah Pappas took the overall first prize with 2 SNAs. Season new agents, B-Dubs, why don't you give them a run through?
Sounds great. Congrats and great work, Alyssa Marshall, Brandon Davis, Christina Pressner, Crystal Goff, Danelle Ragsdale, Dwayne Godwin, James McDaniel, James Toner, Kelly Johnson, Mike Sowell, Ralph Aloya, Chanel Head, I think I botched that one. Sorry, Ralph. Sherry Pierce, Olette Blue, Vanessa Covarrubias, and William Leandri. Congrats to all the SNAs off to a great start, accelerating your success and your ability to get this thing cranking at a great level. We're excited for you.
Awesome job, guys. Also really excited in the coming weeks, guys. You're going to be hearing more and more from a new member of the Quality team. Danielle is working directly with me and going to be focused on new agent activation and helping produce more seasoned new agents. So stay tuned for some very cool things to come in the very near future. So B-Dubs, let's go alternate here. I'll start with the weekly leaderboards and the key leader.
Great.
And you will do the follow-up.
Great.
APV, Steve Montgomery coming in third. Number 2, Shauna Berrigan. And number 1, Heather Morrow. Congratulations. For total recruits, Steve Montgomery with 3, Ismael Martinez with 4, and Charity with 5. Well done, Charity. And for new riders, we've got a tie with Todd and Mary Strader, 2, and Heather Morrow with 2, and Charity with 2. 4-way tie for first. Well done.
It's great. Yeah, I got to know a lot of those key leaders in Key Leader Academy. Good to see your faces, friends. Now we are on to the AOs with Mr. Jerry Choate coming in third, Alec Myers barely eking him out, and Travis Stevens for top for APV, Christopher Smith, Ashley Richard, Gabby and Fred Roethlisberger. However, so that I do not get the call that John Bryant and Courtney Wallace also tied for 3 there. So 3-way tie for second. Fantastic.
Nice.
Then we've got Greg Hassman coming in third, Tom Lotz and Theo Pritchett tied at 4. Actually, no, again, I got to use my skills here. So Jerry, Theo, and Tom Lotz coming in at 4. Greg Hassman at 3, Courtney Wallace at 2 new riders. Fantabulous.
You know what it is, B-Dubs? I've thought about this a lot.
Yeah.
We're used to reading left to right. When you're trying to read a leaderboard right to left,
Yeah.
our eyes don't naturally go that far.
Mm-hmm.
The more you know.
The more you know. Sounds like a good little marketing axiom.
After school special commercial.
That's what it was, right? The more you know.
And knowing is half the battle. I don't know if you were a G.I. Joe fan growing up.
You're triggering all the commercials like I'm just a bill, I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. That was that whole Saturday morning with Fat Albert and all my favorite cartoons. Man, thanks, Spivey.
Fat Albert was great.
Fat Albert is my favorite.
See how easy it is to go down a tangent and get off track.
Oh, we're ahead of schedule. I feel no worries thanks to Sarah Safapur.
Agency director Ben Sepafor with $103,000 heard from his awesome business partner and spouse this morning, Sarah, on the builder's call. Warm wishes to Ben. He is out, not feeling too well today. Talked to him this morning, and he sounded like absolute crap. So get better, Ben. Number 2, Sarah Reineke. Texting with her this morning always makes my heart warm. And there he is, Dave Alvarado, taking the top with APV. For the total recruits, my buddy Mark Newbauer with 16, Ben with 21, Larry and Ann Griffin with 24. And for our new riders, we've got a tie there with Dave and Ben. And then number 2, Sarah Reinecke, that also is tied with Larry and Ann Griffin, a total of 12.
I got to give them Elmers a shout out to be consistent. All right. How about these RADs, Regional Directors of Agency? Josh Hershey, Trey Alderson Cloutier, and Eileen Balmer for APV. For recruits, we got something that I don't see yet. There we go. Mr. Hemme. Spent a good time talking with Mr. Hemme when he was in town for the advisory board and got to drive him back after our hang and meal time. Just love that guy. Susan Adams, who's just killing it right now, looking at the numbers behind the scenes. And Beth Maddox also. Good to see you, Beth. 12 recruits. And Andrew Jimenez, Jamie Stussy, and Eileen Balmer for new writers. However, got to include Mr. Valor.
Well done, managing vice presidents. My buddy John Zeller, $99,000, almost got to 100. Griff Martin with 101. There he is, Chris Cook sitting at the top, $137,000 for total recruits. John Zeller in third, Griff in second again, and Chris Cook with 32. And for new writers, tie there with Ian and Griff with 4. John Zeller with 6, and Chris Cook with 8. And about as we always do at this time, I must let you all know that tonight's the night, B-Dubs. Me and my 2 boys are driving over to enemy territory into Knoxville to attend the Alabama versus Tennessee basketball game with Chris and his 2 boys. Just to make sure my message is loud and clear, got on the Alabama tennis shoes today. You'll notice the Alabama jacket. And of course, I've got the Alabama belt on as well.
Oh, easy. I saw your slingshot shorts. Easy, buddy.
I will spare everybody the details, but I do have on Alabama underwear as well. And so there's a friendly wager, and whoever wins tonight, if Alabama is to win, then Chris Cook and his entire family has to take a picture wearing Alabama gear. And if Tennessee happens to win, then Chris Cook has to find a new job. So it's going to be a really interesting evening. Look forward to reporting back next week.
That sounds amazing. So fun. Good for you guys. Love it. All right. SVPs, Tony Capistrano, Nate Offord, and Spiel Dinner Financial coming in at the top APV. For recruits, Mr. Nate Offord, Tony Cap again, and Mike and Sarah Pappas with 19. And Spiel Dinner Financial with 6. Mike and Jen with 6, tied for second. So I got to go with Tony Cap for third. And Mike and Sarah Pappas for top new writers.
For executive vice presidents, number 3, Miranda Martin. Number 2, Darren Stubbs. And number 1, Scott Mink with 183,000. On the recruit side, Miranda Martin with 7, Scott with 11, and Sean Shannon, 22. Quit playing around, Sean. Let's go. Talking about, buddy. Miranda Martin with 3 on total new writers. Scott Mink with 7, and Sean Shannon with 11. So awesome to see Sean winning big.
And associate partners, Ashley and Tyler Harris, Lynn Watkins, and Ryan and Michelle Miller. Lynn Watkins, Ashley and Tyler, and Ryan and Michelle for top recruits. And what a surprise. This is like a little bit of a different kind of a turkey leg. They're all 3, just it's like a oblong turkey leg or something.
Oblong?
Oblong, I don't know. Lynn Watkins.
Four style?
That's right. Lynn and Ashley tied at 11. Got to pull Carl up for the third place spot, and Ryan Michelle Miller with 14 new writers. Fantastic.
Well done. Senior partners, the Smith Agency with 391,000. My Forever Upline, Danny and Sandy Young, 514,000. For recruits, the Smith Agency with 20, Danny Young with 42. New writers, Smith Agency 8, and Danny Young with 18.
All right, managing partners, Mr. Jacob Pogue, Edward Pritchett topping over $1 million, and Marshall Whalen coming in at 1.3. For recruits, we've got Jacob Pogue, 46, Edward Pritchett, 62, Marshall Whalen, $114. That's a lot of dang recruits. And Jacob Pogue, I was just thinking the same thing. Jeez. Jacob Pogue, 29, Mr. Pritchett, 35, and Marshall Whalen, 63 new writers.
Marshall, let us know too, buddy. Is that another record-breaking week? 1.3 million. I'm not great. I'm not as good at Brandon as remembering all the records, but I think that might be a record, and certainly the 114 is a contributing factor. I wanted to give a shout out to the contracting team. You guys heard me mention it on the AO call this morning. But last week, Symmetry broke a record for the number of agents onboarded in a single week.
It
And
was
in large part, thank you to the contracting team for getting that many people moved to the funnel that quickly.
man. I was just going to say, thing about all that I talked about on the builders call a little bit, just the activation work of the connection and staying, imagine just like focusing on activating as many of those to SNA in the next 6 weeks, man, that's a big yield of impact.
Just think about it, B-Dubs. I don't want to go down a tangent, but if we just made it our focus in 2023 to activate 10 more percent, 10% more of the agents that we onboard, that get their license, that come into the system and help them become a first-time writer and SNA, the amount of good and gratitude that can go out across this country is astounding. So we're laser focused here at the home office, guys. Got good things coming for it, and it's going to be good when B-Dubs is spearheading most of those efforts. So Kevin Purdy, number 3. Number 2, Scott Mink. Number 1, Carl Miller. Miller time. Recruits, Sean Shannon with 22, Chris Cook with 32, Jacob Pogue with 39. And on the new writers category, we got a 3-way tie with Jamie Susie, Dave Alvarado, Danny Young. Second place, Chris Cook. And number 1, Sean Shannon.
Love it. How about these base shops? The base shops. Let's go. Ashley and Tyler. Jordan Shank. Shout out to you and Dave Alvarado at 48 while he's living in Mexico this week. Sir Pritchett of the Round Table, Mark Newbauer and Bradley Shinovar, coming in at 11 recruits. And Sarah Reinecke, Jamie Susie, and Dave Alvarado coming in at new writers.
Well done.
Who needs more leads?
Who needs leads? We got call-in lead capabilities to produce more in the states of Indiana, Michigan, Kentucky, Texas, Missouri, Minnesota, North Carolina, Virginia, New Jersey, Massachusetts. Say Massachusetts for me, B-Dub.
Massachusetts? Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Yeah, that's like
it's one of those that you got to say without thinking. If you try to actually read it and pronounce it, you're in trouble.
Facts.
Been that way since elementary school. Pennsylvania, also an opportunity, guys, for call-in leads. Make sure you get those requests in if you're looking for more lead flow, as Brandon and Casey have been harping so far throughout 2023. What you've got to focus on is creating more unique builders and more leads under management. Here's a great place to find more of that inventory. Top 20 leaderboards. How hard are you all out there working right now to qualify for the biggest contest ever? You don't want to fall behind. Don't forget, right now we're in qualifications that could put you into a contest that is going to award $100,000. That's right, B-Dubs. You might want to go ahead and polish off that insurance license at some point, buddy.
It may happen one day. In fact, it's just inevitable. It's a matter of timing. And yes, indeed.
We going to be an incredible contest this fall, guys. We're in qualifications right now. The top 200 individuals will qualify to compete in that contest. This leaderboard currently is off of Submit as of 2/10/23. Just as quick reminders, Submit production is the leading indicator of net place production, but this contest is all about quality business that stays on the books. So while we leaderboard Submit, just know the final standings, what matters most is going to be net placed. So if you don't see your name in that top 200, don't be discouraged, because some of these individuals might fall off if they're putting up business that actually is not going to stay on the books. So remember, round 1 qualification contest results are based on personal net place production, max credit $7,500. And you can visit HQ for month 1, December 2022 leaderboards of personal net place production. Those are final rankings for the month of December. And we will have January here in the next couple of weeks to report on.
Amazing. That was a tight battle for the 1 and 2 right now.
Absolutely. It
Easy.
is getting neck and neck. Those top individual qualifiers too are also competing for additional prizes in the qualifying rounds in the form of lead credits.
Mm.
So there is a reason for leaderboarding that top 20.
Mm.
Annuity leads, B-dubs. I have heard really good things about these annuity leads. Thank you for everybody and your patience as we continue to pair our annuity leads with technology and switchboard, making sure that everything is flowing appropriately. All advanced market leads must have Razor Ridge and switchboard accounts if you're looking to work the annuity leads. You can order it with a minimum of 5 leads, and you must be DFL, IUL, or annuity certified, depending on the type of leads it is that you're wanting to buy. We want to make sure that you're properly trained and prepared to protect the client with those products. And if you're not certified, not a big deal. Head over to Quility U, and if you do not have access to your courses, your AO can submit support ticket, and we will grant you access so that you can be properly trained and ready to work these leads that are available on razorridgelead.com. Tremendous results with the Razor Ridge leads, especially these advanced market leads. Getting some pretty rave reviews right now. So make sure you're checking that out.
Did you see that Super Bowl? Super Bowl commercial that had the QR code? That was done like for the first time a couple
Marshall
years.
Whalen.
Yeah.
He blazed the trail.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
What, for putting a
We
QR?
were at his altitude conference a couple years ago when he put a QR code up for the entire crowd to scan in order to buy tickets for conference, I believe it was.
That's cool. Yeah, they did it on the Super Bowl a couple years ago. Somebody knows like what company that was. And then this year that another company did it again. There's a crypto company this year. It was a little bit more colorful, a little bit more Dragon's Lair video game, if you remember that. But I'm telling you, if you're on leaderboards and missing a headshot, get that phone out. We want to see that. There's only one more week until we start putting Shrek and Fiona up there, I think.
On the nice side, that's what we're going to use.
Actually, like we'll research your like for you, we'd have the Vols. We'd put some Tennessee player up for you, and we put some Alabamian up for Cookie.
I like this.
Yeah, we just put up the opposite, or we dress them in,
Find your rival team and have you dressed up in their gear.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I'm loving this.
Yes, sir.
Just want to give an update, guys. We've done. You all have responded to this. We've talked about it the last 3 weeks. Again, Brian, just you want an example of whatever we bring attention to it tends to be what we focus on and where you can find results. As usual, we've been talking about getting our updated headshots in, and you guys have responded overwhelmingly. So if you have sent in your headshot and you've not seen it updated on the leaderboard yet, it's okay. We've got it, but we only have so many people that work tirelessly behind the scenes in the design department, and they are processing your photos. They are getting everything done that they show through clearly on the website. So just know that typically it takes 1 to 2 weeks to process. To get everything updated on HQ and the levels of leadership page is going to be updated monthly. But if you would like your headshot updated, here's your chance. Pull out your phone, take a picture of the QR code. It will walk you through exactly what to do, and know that we will get that processed and everybody will get a chance to have a fancy new headshot. When's the last time you did a headshot, B-Dubs?
It's been quite a while, actually. Probably, I want to say year and a half ago, something like that, maybe.
Yeah. Time to update it, buddy. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Leaders Summit and Spring Fling? I know not a day goes by that I do not get a text message with either excitement or a new potential individual that had just qualified to get an invite. So I know that the excitement around this event is at peak levels, buddy, and you are working nonstop to make sure that this is a dynamic event. So tell us a little bit.
Of course. Yeah, the team is Joe Dendy and the marketing team, and big lift behind the scenes from everyone, really. Yeah, March 21st, 22nd, it's going to be here before you know it. We are, I'm glad to see it. Yeah, still time to qualify. So that would be essentially what is 1 month of key leader numbers if you're not a key leader, right? That's the qualification, I believe. Again, super pumped to see the founders are going to be in their sweet spot talking about vision. Lots of time for Q&A. So when you see these bubbles, let me just talk you through these bubbles. Learn how to master the summit phases. Like you're going to hear from our top leaders. I know I'll just give you a little hint. We got Ashley Tarr and Sarah Reinecke are going to be talking about onboarding and activation. I won't give all the cards yet, and we'll just roll it out week by week. But some of the top, activators in the company, if you will. So that would be an example of when we're talking about how to master summit phases, the 4 phases of our proven process: activate, accelerate, advance, and achieve. You're only going to hear more about those, and we've got great people lined up for that. Lots of time for Q&A with the founders at the end of the day. That's going to be incredible. We did that at Agency Owner Academy, those of you that were there, and it was just Casey and Meredith, and actually Spivey and I got pulled up for that too. But really powerful time listening to their hearts and vision. Ripple model, they're going to do a really cool experiential thing. Symmetry leadership model, I'll be leading a leadership excellence panel and rolling out a really powerful model that we're going to be using moving forward. Yeah, that's probably good for now. QSV is always updating on the data and applications front to show you the technology solutions that are going to continue to add value to your world as builders and agents. It's going to be killer. It's going to be just a lot of intention going into this one. So really pumped.
Talking about that strategic ventures we've got going on, guys, the LGA Navigator pilot, Flight of the Navigator, has expanded to approximately 100 agents that are currently being onboarded. It's just so cool to see B-Dubs like truly on the ground floor of industry changing technology, the capability to log into one platform that will be able to give guidance on what products an agent should be considering for the client, being able to fill out one application that will apply for eventually all of the carriers that Symmetry is partnered with. You talk about giving more time back to the agents, less time in actually filling out paperwork to protect clients, more time to focus on conversations with the clients, finding additional needs, and of course, more time to go out and find others that are interested in building an agency just like you all have decided to do. We're really on the verge of just changing the game, man, and I'm so excited and couldn't be more thrilled to see what's been happening behind the scenes. Anytime you can catch either of these individuals talking on any platform, I suggest you pull up a chair, break out a piece of paper and a pen. And when you can get both at one time on one topic, look out, Dynamite's coming. And I encourage you all live Tuesday, February 21st at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Mark it in your calendar. Check it out on Instagram. You are going to have Meredith Ellison interviewing Edward Pitchett on the risk and the ripple. And I am sure you all will not want to miss this. And it will be an incredible opportunity for you to steer potential recruits that are looking to potentially join our organization and want to know what this is all about. B-Dubs can tell you better than I. But in today's society, more and more people are choosing a career and choosing the company they partner with based around the culture that they provide and the impact they're making in the world. And this will be a great opportunity for you to see a little bit behind the scenes of the organization that we all proudly work for. So fired up to see that. Upcoming events, carrier webinar hosted by my buddy over at Americo. So appreciative for Andrew and all he does. New product training and texting features will be available this weekend. Make sure you're tuning in February 16th, tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. FIF resets will be Thursday the 16th at 3 p.m. Eastern, hosted by Mr. Jeff Sigworth. The DFL 101 call is Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And then the FIF Reset and Advanced Market Webinar, Tuesday, the 21st at 11 a.m. Eastern. Mr. Sigworth and also Mr. Nate Burks will be leading the way for that. So just an opportunity for everybody to continue to plug in and find the resources that they need. B-Dubs, we did it.
Yes, we did it.
35 minutes. We got through leaderboards and announcements.
That's good.
We nailed it, buddy. Man, we are one of the most exciting things that I have seen Casey Watkins walk around this building buzzing about is the impact and the tidal wave of momentum that we're about to create when we start to get really smart at how we engage with the world through our social media platforms. We're so honored and privileged to be partnering with Mr. Tyler Jack Harris and leveraging his expertise, what he's learned, an extensive amount of time in becoming an expert in this space, and also somebody that is one of our own and that cares deeply about the success of this company and where it is we're going. I've had the opportunity to spend a lot of time with Tyler in the last year as he's so unselfishly given his time and used his own dollars to travel to Asheville to be a part of many program meetings and talking about different committees that are going to guide us into the future. And I can tell you that Tyler is somebody that I truly admire and excited as well about this. So Tyler, appreciate you sacrificing some beach time to come in and get us kicked off.
Hey,
buddy.
man, that was touching. Thank you. What an incredible introduction. And the only question I have is I kind of hope it was Reggie walking around the office, not Casey, because one of my top goals for Social Q is to get Reggie going viral.
Let's go.
I mean, my gosh. We talked about Cletus last time. It might be a Cletus and Reggie podcast. I don't know. Something that we might have to start. But thank you, guys. I want to be real selfish on the front end, and I want to wish a very happy Valentine's Day to my wife, Ashley. And I want to thank Foresters for making it really easy for me this year, putting us up here in Punta Mita. But we had an incredible day yesterday, but wanted to say I love you and happy Valentine's Day. I also wanted to just really give a special shout out. It's been really cool. And you know, getting kind of a look a little bit behind the scenes, kind of pinning back the curtain with everything that's going on at corporate and down at HQ. And just want to give a specific shout out to Brandon and Casey, to you, Todd and Brian, as well as Joe Dindy, Mark Palmer, Sandra Dennison, Jay Nesbitt. And there's been so many people that I've been interacting with as we've gotten this thing up and running, from marketing to finance and all over the place. And it's just been, it's been an incredible experience. And I want everybody to know that, because not everybody gets to see kind of the inner workings and how organized and efficient and systematized things are. And so I'm super grateful and blessed to be a part of this, guys. Hey, Todd, are you the one that is...
I have got the finger on the clicker for you, sir.
Cool. Perfect. So let's just dig right in, guys. Who's fired up about Social Q? We've gotten a lot of feedback, a lot of text messages coming in, but let's see it blow up in the chat. And I would love to know, just to start off, like, what in the world are you excited about? But hopefully we can give you a few more reasons on the remainder of this call. We got 20 minutes left, so you guys are going to have to listen really quickly because we got a lot of stuff I want to share. But Social Q was created for agents, by agents, focused on one common goal, and that's to drive business outcomes through proven strategies on social media to increase recruiting, production, and overall profitability. Remember, guys, this is going to be a little bit countercultural. It's going to be a little bit different than what you think it might be or any assumption you might have. This isn't about getting more likes, getting more followers. This is not about becoming an influencer. This is not about any of that stuff. This is about using social media as a tool, right? Using it as a tool specifically to grow your agency, to grow your business, whether that means recruiting or that means production. Todd, let's click over to the next slide. Actually, let's go one more. All right, so if you haven't done so yet, this is really important, guys, because we want you to be able to get into Social Q and be the first to hear about it when enrollment goes live. And we're going to talk about that timeline here in just a second. So if you haven't done so already, text Social Q. You don't have to put the quotations around it. It'll pick it up if you do, but just text Social Q to that number, 864-203-4061. All right. Remember, don't text your social security number to that number. Just text the word Social Q. And to be honest, I was a little surprised by some of the words that got texted in. There was like some social R, social S, some random things. So let's try to get Social Q in there. Todd, let's can we stop the share? Is it possible? Perfect. There we go. All right, guys, here's how I wanted to kick this off. Again, a little bit countercultural to what we might expect, but I want to have a quick conversation with you guys about vulnerability. Okay. To show vulnerability means to bring a weakness to light. Once you've exposed vulnerability in yourself, what do you do with it? You take action. Vulnerability is pointless without action. We've all heard that vulnerability opens up trust, but when it comes to building a business, I actually disagree. In fact, if our goal is to use social media as a tool for recruiting and production, I believe vulnerability can erode trust. What happens when you start exposing your flaws? Maybe it's an addiction issue, discipline issue, maybe it's even an integrity issue. And you tell people about this without a clear action strategy, without clear steps in place to improve, you're actually teeing yourself up for eroded trust relative to what you had before. Vulnerability opens up the pathway to earn trust, but you have to actually do something about it to prove that when you see something wrong in your life, you're willing to do the work to change, to grow, to overcome. Make no mistake, it's not the vulnerability alone that builds trust. It's the actions you take after being vulnerable that has the power to garner trust and influence and credibility with other people. Another way of looking at vulnerability is through the lens of humility, acknowledging that you don't have it all figured out. And guess what? None of us do, right? Acknowledging where you struggle. When we're humble, what do? We give ourselves the opportunity to do something about it. And that's what it's all about, guys. Has anybody here ever felt like a fraud in this business or outside? What I love about this business is it's like a microscope on like life, right? It's like under a magnifying glass. Everything you experience in life, you'll experience as a new agent and as a growing agency owner in this business. But how many of you have felt like a fraud? I know I have, but what if I told you that was actually a good thing? Think about it. If you're in the process of doing something you've never done before, but you're doing it with the confidence that you're going to succeed, it's a fraudulent environment to be in, right? Like, I've never done this before, but I'm acting like I'm going to crush it. Like, I'm not talking about fake it till you make it. I'm talking about knowing exactly where you're headed and inviting people on that journey with you as you walk it out. All right, so what does this have to do with Social Q? Everything. Here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to put in the chat real quick, 1 to 10. 10 being the most, right? When it comes to putting yourself out there on social media, how nervous, fearful, anxious are you currently? And be honest. Let's just fill up the chat with your number, 1 to 10. Like when it comes to really like being vulnerable, like putting some real stuff out there, or just talking about what you do, or maybe offering an opportunity to join. 1 to 10, how uncomfortable, how nervous, how fearful are you? I would imagine we've got a lot of 9s, 10s, probably a bunch of 8s, right? Guess what? There are millions of people out there in the world that feel the exact same way. I feel the exact same way. Even Todd feels the exact same way, right? We all do. So let's talk about it. Let's be vulnerable. Let's be humble. But most importantly, let's make sure we've got clear steps in place to prove with our actions the difference between who we say we are and who we really are. Todd, do you mind sharing the screen with that slide that you had up last with all the different points on it? I'm going to roll through this. So guys, that's exactly where social cue is going to come in this kind of vulnerability conversation, right? We specifically tailored our curriculum and weekly social media success schedule to empower you to not just talk about it, but be about it. Every social cue live training will provide you with strategies you can implement and you will implement immediately. A confused mind does nothing. So expect these strategies to be clear, simple, and effective. We took that a step further to provide real-time support in the social cue workrooms. You can jump in every Monday, Tuesday, Friday, have it time blocked in your calendar, eliminate your excuses, and do the actual work. We'll be there to fully support you, answering questions live, and help you stay focused. We took it another step further by creating custom content exclusive to social cue subscribers so you can be efficiently consistent. That's like a magical word. It's like magically delicious or something. Efficiently consistent, right? It's hard to be consistent. So we're going to give you the assets that you need to be able to do that. Again, efficiently. And lastly, the private engagement group. This is where we're going to lift each other up at scale, like truly working together as a team. Guys, the cost for social cue is going to be $75 a month, but here's the cool thing. Quility stepped up and said, hey, we actually want everybody to be able to experience and go through the social media agent activation process at no cost. So the social media agent activation is your first month, the first 4 weeks. So the payments will process in week 5 as you continue on through the social cue curriculum, and that's where it gets really good, if I'm being completely honest. But Todd, if you can stop the share real quick. I was thinking about this last night and this morning. I wanted to find something powerful that we could all do today. Like a statement, like a way to plant your flag in the ground, draw a line in the sand, and honestly, a way to immediately experience the type of engagement that we were talking about on the call, even before we got started talking about social cue. Let's take what we learned during this conversation today, that vulnerability must be followed by action. Social cue has provided the action plan. The vulnerability is up to you. So everyone that has opted in by texting in social cue to that number, and we'll put that up at the end as well, they're going to receive 2 graphics today that you can post on social media. They're very, very simple, but I believe they're going to be incredibly powerful. It'll be one like a post that you can put on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever. The other one will be like a story type format. So an Instagram story, Facebook story, that type of thing. Here's the challenge. And actually, let me show you guys what it looks like real quick as I roll into this. Here's the challenge, guys. You see this spinning wheel? Back in the day, we used to call it like the spinning wheel of death, when you're like computers overloaded and thinking. It's loading, right? It symbolizes there's something coming, that there's some type of transition happening, that there's something new that people are about to see or experience, right? So here's the challenge. We're going to answer this question. What has held you back in the past from putting yourself out there on social media? You don't have to write that question and then provide the answer, but I want you to just write a couple sentences. If it's a paragraph, awesome. If it's 3 paragraphs, sometimes Ashley's go into like 3 and 4 and 5 comments. They're so long. So it doesn't matter how long it is. I just want you to be honest, and I want you to be real. What has held you back in the past from putting yourself out there on social media? There are a lot of you guys that are doing incredibly well on social media. So for you, it's like that next level, like what's holding you back from putting yourself out there more, or being more real, or actually talking about what's really important, those types of things. Be honest, be humble, and make sure that you put hashtag social Q at the end of the caption, or you can just type it in a comment on your own post. I know that sounds like narcissistic or weird, like you're commenting on your own post. Yes, because it's helpful. What that's going to do is that's going to give everybody else the ability to go see who's posting. When you go see it, that's challenge number 2. As agents from all around the country are posting these images with a paragraph, maybe 2, getting vulnerable, maybe some for the very first time, maybe some for the first time in a public platform, I want us to sprint to the comment section. Right? Lift them up. Remind them of who you see them as. Like, tell them who you see them, how you see them. Encourage them as we all are embarking on this journey together. Speak some truth, right? And fire them up. Imagine if we had 1,000+ agents. Embrace this strength and vulnerability with action and put these messages out into the world. We will create a ripple that will turn into a tidal wave over the next 120 days of this pilot. So leaders go first, right? Right? And to all you leaders, which is every single person on this call, that's a challenge in calling you out. But I'm also calling myself out. It might surprise you, but this is something I have been really struggling with for the past 3 years. Every single thing I shared today was honestly a conversation with myself. So let's just say that we're all in the same boat. But now we know where that boat's headed. And we're going to be rowing in sync, making progress every day. So I want to close this by reading a post that I put out a couple of weeks ago. And this was kind of like that for me, that kind of drawing a line in the sand and kind of like that sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like, I'm sorry, I'm like tired of being stressed and anxious about this. So I'm going to read this as we close. And then we're going to throw the text opt-in information back up there to make sure that you guys get locked in. And we're going to talk about the final launch sequence timeline. All right. Every single one of us care about what other people think. The question is, do you allow their opinions to influence when, where, and how you show up in the world? I did. I put a pretty bow on it by justifying it was the right thing to do to protect the antagonist, but in doing so, I cast myself a supporting role in their story, turning the mic off and laying the pen down to my own. The last 3 years of my life have been filled with more pain, despair, stress, and chaos than the 35 years prior combined. You wouldn't understand. Correction, you couldn't understand because I stopped talking. I stopped sharing. Not just with all of you here on social media, everyone. Complete isolation, which was surprisingly easy as COVID arrived on the scene. I went from 200+ days a year on the road with a videographer full-time to becoming a full-time single dad to a 4-year-old little girl. Left one company, started 2 more, met the woman of my dreams, and then literally I almost died. As days turned into months, it became increasingly illogical to reconnect with relationships because showing up authentically felt like a 12-hour response to the inevitable first question. So how have things been going? God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers, played like a metronome in my head. My identity began taking root in my ability to operate in uncertainty, perform under pressure, and remain calm amidst the chaos. I can remember thinking things like, if anyone on this call had any idea what I've walked through just in the last 24 hours, they'd applaud the fact that I even showed up, no less delivered. 3 freaking years. Crazy as I type that sinks in a little deeper, how quickly time goes by. Fact, there's a big difference between posting stuff and putting yourself out there on social media. But Mr. Consistency always shows up, right? We do it anyway, right? Right. So I did, recycling old content until that person became almost unrecognizable to me. Question: what do you do when you've scaled your personal brand and then you become a completely different person? Answer: you talk about it. So allow me to reintroduce myself. For the first time in my life, I knew I finally got something to say. So guys, like that for me is like, hey, like something new is coming. Think about this post, something new is coming, right? This can be our way as a company and as a team, an actual team that's all working together, that we can come together and support one another, encourage one another through engagement, the word of the year, engage. But also we can go make an impact in the world, because everything that you guys are going to mention, there are going to be people that follow you that have thought that exact same thing today. And one of them is going to reach out to you and they're going to say thanks. It may be another agent from somebody else's team, random person, like, man, thanks so much for what you said in that post about what's been holding you back. I felt the exact same way. And the way you described that, like, it really opened up something for me, or really unlocked something for me. I appreciate that. Imagine what that type of culture is going to feel like, right? And guys, this is just the beginning. So Todd, if you don't mind throwing up the screen share, I want to give you guys a little bit of a timeline. So next Wednesday, which is the 22nd, the official enrollment is going to go live. There's going to be a lot of communication going out that day, but the ones that have texted in are going to receive that communication first. I want to be very clear on that, because there are going to be a lot of people trying to enroll as this thing launches. On March 1st, that's going to be the deadline. So you have to enroll by that time, and we'll let you know immediately whether or not that you got in. And then March 2nd will be the very first Social Q live training. So everything's going to be detailed out in the emails and confirmations when you register and all that good stuff. But make sure that you have texted Social Q to 864-203-4061. And guys, we know that there are probably tons of questions in the chat. We have already been compiling a pretty exhaustive list of frequently asked questions, but I'm going to specifically take the CSV file of all of the chat today, and I'm going to make sure that those questions are in the FAQs, so you guys will be able to access that relatively quickly. So Todd, with that, I'm done. I am fired up to see this, guys. If you have texted and opted in, I'm going to be getting those graphics out to you this afternoon. Remember, post it, couple sentences, couple paragraphs, whatever you want to do, but make sure you use hashtag social Q, and then everybody starts searching hashtag social Q. It's easiest on Instagram, but works on Facebook as well. But you're going to see all of these black posts with the little spinning wheel of death in it, which is, I won't say spinning wheel of life. Like, this is like not death, but it's got that on it. But you're going to be able to read through those and like them and comment and maybe share somebody else's if it was super impactful. And by doing so, we'll experience just a little bit of a taste of what's coming in the days to come with Social Q. So thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Fired up for it, man. Thank you for sharing today too, Tyler. Just trying to take notes and pay attention to, and then just, as always, that human connection and hearing someone else's story and somebody that's vulnerable enough to share it. It's just consistently going to make an impact. And I can promise you, if I'm on the other side of that post in social media land, and I don't know where my life's going, and I'm the old Todd still stuck in pharmaceutical sales, and I was to read something like that, I'd be one of the ones reaching out. I'd be one of the ones that was definitely intrigued. And that's the point, guys. Everybody's got a story that's going to impact somebody else. So appreciate it, Tyler. Fired up for it, buddy. Anything to close, B-dubs?
Just super thankful, man, for you and the expertise you've developed. And I love the focus on business outcomes, right? Because, we've done some digging in behind the scenes on all of the recruiting data that we have. And then we've researched and surveyed our top recruiters. And this is one thing that they're almost to the person, all of, let's say, the top 10% recruiters are all doing this. They're all leveraging social media and seeing great results. And so this is one of those tools in the toolkit that makes me know why Casey Watkins is bouncing around super fired up, and I know it's going to bring some serious business results. And so grateful for you. Thanks for a great call, and everybody have a great rest of your day. Go have fun tonight, Spivey. Roll Tide.
Come on, Bama.
Cheers.